SAW in Sahih Muslim and Musnad Ahmad, where the Prophet SAW says that every child is born in the state of fitrah. Of course, you can quote the entire hadith, or you can just stop there. We say everybody is born in the state of fitrah, which means pureness, which means they have no sin. You don't have to say, in Islam we don't believe in original sin. Don't dig your own grave, by the way. Sometimes by saying so, you are attacking their faith without you realizing. But why not just share more about our own faith by telling them, in Islam, everyone is born pure, fitrah. Everyone is born sinless. By me saying so, I don't have to top up with another sentence by saying, we don't believe in original sin. Now you're attacking me, huh? It's like, I like Chinese guy, but I don't like Chinese guy who are a bit dark. So now you're talking about me, huh? For example, talk about our faith that, we believe that every child is born in a state of fitrah, pure. They are Muslim. They do not have sin. They do not have sin. And this is what we believe, because the Almighty Creator is only one God. We believe as a Muslim. Whenever you say, we as a Muslim, we believe this, we as a Muslim that we believe this, can they attack you? Can they say you are wrong? No. Cannot, because I'm sharing from my perspective. I'm not sharing from other people's perspective. I'm sharing from my perspective. When I'm saying this is my perspective, what is so wrong about it? You cannot attack me. You just have to listen from me. Okay? So share the fitrah. We believe in one God, and this is the one God that created the entire universe, you, me, and every single thing in this world. That's why we say everybody is one. And you know why? When somebody becomes a Muslim in Islam, we call them as revert and not as convert. Again, you ask the question to trigger, why? Because you want them to give us an answer. Why? Then, yes, because every child is born as a Muslim, and then eventually through their life, they embrace other religion, and then when they come back, they revert. I give you an example. Like a water, you see, this is what? What kind of technique I'm using now? Remember, VAK? Use whatever around you. Help them to visualize. Some people learn through listening, some through visual. So, like for example, this is a water, a clean water, pure, clean. So if I were to put a red syrup inside, what will happen? It will become a red color. But then I go through reverse osmosis. What will happen to the water? It will come back to pure. That's why we say originally it's this, but then there is an ink drop in, and then when somebody chooses to come back to Islam, it becomes pure again. You visualize for them. Inshallah, I believe after we finish this, most of you will have this image in your mind. The reverse osmosis stories. Okay so far? Why suddenly everybody is so quiet? I'm so worried. Oh, MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Okay, then we can share more, but give you some idea. I would rather to share with you something which you can practice back. I will not share with you a lot about the raw material, like the information. Most of the information about Islam and other religion, you can read from somewhere else. The training is about equip us with the tools. The tools is more important than the knowledge itself. Let me share you. You want to listen to a story? Yes. Only some of you. I just talked to you guys. Do you guys want to listen to a story? This is how I invite participations, by the way. I'm trying to apply whatever I'm sharing here, so in order for you can see the example of it. I will not move on until I get most of you to say yes. Yes. So you want to listen to some story? Yes. Then only I share. Okay? Then only I share. There's one time, there's this ship company. This ship is like so high tech that they cannot start the ship. So what happened is that they call for all the company around the world with high technology to try to figure out what's wrong with this ship. And then eventually they still cannot fix it. But then they heard nearby this area, there is an old man. He do not own any big company, but people say that this guy is very good. He's expert. So they say, okay, why not? We have the company around the world. Let's call this old man. And this old man just come with the top, bring nothing, no equipment at all, and just walk around. Okay, give me some hammer. Give me one hammer. And they get the hammer. He knocked there, tries. Okay, now try to start. Alhamdulillah, the engine start. So they ask for the bill. When they ask for the bill, you know how much he charged? Not much. 10,000 BD. 10,000 dinars. 10,000 dinars. And they were surprised. What? Just 3 knocks and that hammer even is bought from us? And you are charging me 10,000 dinars? What service is this, man? Give me the itemized billing. I want itemized. Okay. So he wrote there, 100 BD is to know where, 100 BD is for the cost of knocking on the engine. The 9,900 BD is to know where to knock. What is the lesson here? The lesson here is that I can give every one of you today, I can give you the same raw material. I can give you the same chicken, the same beef, the same mutton, the same recipe, everything. But it will come out different result. Why? Because not everyone know how to cook. But if I were to share with you, you know, if you want to cook a beef, this is what you should do. If you want to cook a chicken, this is what you want to do. If you want to debone, this is what you should do. And then eventually, whatever you want to cook in the future, do you know how to cook? Yeah. You know the formula. And the formula is much more important. Remember yesterday we did share? Knowing your product but do not know your customer is like you have a product to sell but you have nobody to sell to. Knowing about Islam but do not know about your prospect is like you have a lot of question answer, you have a lot of answer about Islam but you have nobody that you can share this answer to. So this is the tool. Now, number 4, two-way communications. Number 5, do not assume everyone needs and wants to know about what we know. This is what I say, that we are digging our own grave. You know why? Sometimes they ask us about issue like women in Islam. And then we get so excited, you know what we do? Yeah, you know, after we answer that question, and then we go on and say, and you know what? There are some people misunderstood why our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, married one of his wife, Aisha, at the age of 6. And then they live together, they consummate marriage at the age of 9. Then we start to explain. You know what? Not all the people know this question. And they are not even asking you, why are you digging your own grave? You just create another question for them to think about Islam. Supposedly just now you give them a beautiful answer. They are convinced. Wow, nice. But then by you giving this, you are just helping the shaitan to instill more doubt in them. Digging your own grave is worse, is bad. But you know what is worse? Digging your own grave and you have to bury it yourself. Yeah. You just dig the own grave, you have to lie inside, you have to put all the sand on top of yourself. Why do that? Do not assume they need to know. Only when they ask us, only we address that particular question. Do not assume, I think this person from UK, I think he should know about this. I think better I address this question first before he asks. Don't do that. We might have 100 and question and answer. They might not need to know 100 and question and answer to become a Muslim. How many, Sister Veronica, how many answer you need to become a Muslim? Quite a lot. How many? 100? Most probably, Sister? Close to 100. MashaAllah. I don't have 100. You know how many questions I have? I only have one question. I only have one question. I just need one answer and that's it. How many questions you have? Yes, Sister? 3. 3 questions. Khalas. As simple as that. So, do not assume when we are sharing. Now, sharing, not preaching. What is the difference between sharing and preaching, by the way?
Sharing is more of dialogue.
Sharing is more of dialogue?
Yeah, preaching is monologue.
Okay. It seems like you have something to say?
You said what I want to say.
That's why they say, great minds think alike. What else? What else? What is the difference between sharing and preaching?
Sharing is more than interaction.
Yes. Okay, they have a famous saying, sharing is caring. How about oversharing?
Destructive.
No, sharing is caring, oversharing is daring. It's daring. Okay? Because sometimes they don't even have to know. Like, you have to share every single aspect of your life. Why you want to share every single thing? You are so daring to expose your family to the danger outside. Sharing is good, but do not overshare. Okay? Because people like to listen to story, sharing. They don't like to listen to lectures. They don't like to listen to preaching. You know, I want to preach to you. Take these two examples. First example is that we ask our friend, brother, please sit here for a while, for 1 hour. I will talk to you about Islam. First example. Second is that you sit down, brother, I have something to share with you. Without telling them how long. Which one, most probably they will sit down? Why? No time frame is one thing, and second is that sharing. When you share, people have the ideas that you want to listen to their opinion. When you share, when you preach, is that you just want them to listen to your ideas, but not otherwise. You get the ideas? The same approach that normally that we should use when we deal with elderly people that are not practicing Islam. If we tell our dad, you know, you are so old now. You are going to the grave soon. Why don't you pray? There's one technique. Does it work? They say, you know what, son? I have more experience than you. Okay? I eat more salt than you eating rice. This is what they say. Or I eat kapsam or whatever it is. I have more experience than you. But if we use a different way, Dad, I have something to share with you. Can you give me some opinion about this? Then we share. Dad, you know, last weekend I was in this Discover Islam. There's this Chinese guy. He looked like a Chinese, but I don't know if he's a Chinese or not. Then you share whatever that I've just shared. Say, and he talked about, you know, Islam is so simple because you have encountered a lot of non-Muslims who say Islam is so difficult, especially when they talk about pray 5 times a day. So this Chinese guy say, you know, after he become Muslim, he also initially he thought that Islam is so difficult. Eventually after he become Muslim and he practiced, and it's so easy. So what do you think about what he have just shared with us? Ask your father. Because by sharing, by asking their opinion, they feel they have the obligation to listen to you. If not, they cannot give you opinion, right? So by you saying this, what most probably they will answer you? They will listen to you. They might answer you, yeah, I think what the Chinese guy say is true. Islam is so easy. Praying 5 times a day is not difficult. He is just lecturing himself actually. Because he himself is not practicing. He's not praying 5 times a day. So by him explaining to us, by giving us the response that Islam is easy, he is telling himself, you have to understand, some people have the ego. Remember the internal frame of mind and the external frame of reference? That is the one. Now, brother and sister, it's 6:30. No, 7:30. Sorry, 7:30. Let's have a 5-minute quick break, and we come back for the last session, in which I will share about the invitation as well. Is it okay? Just quick 5 minutes, and then we come back. Okay? That will be my last hour for this da'wah training, for this ATMT, inshallah. So, have a break, inshallah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Can I take this?
Yeah, you can. Sure, no problem.
Do you mind if I ask you one question?
Sorry?
Do you mind if I ask you one question?
Modify? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now, this is the last 1 hour that I will be spending with you guys for this ATMT's training seminars, inshallah. Now, we have talked about sharing, and of course during the sharing we will have a question and answer. But this question and answer, you don't have to write down every single thing. What you need to do is that the moment you receive this slide, read it, because everything I have put it in such a details that by reading it you will understand it. And because time is not on our side, okay, time is not on our side. You know, the brother from Philippines is, alhamdulillah, just now I have some conversations with them. I didn't have a lot of chance to talk to some other brother from India. No, the sister from India. Yes, we talked that day. Estonia, right? And of course Tanzania, I did talk to him as well. Russia, yes, we talked. Sri Lanka, okay. Which Estonia? Which country did I miss out? Finland. Finland, I talked to them. South Korea, yes, South Korea, I talked to her. Malaysia, talk a lot. Enough about Malaysia. Let's talk about other countries. I talked to you and Yusuf, right? Yeah. Which country? Yes, East Timor. Yes, the brother from East Timor. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Myanmar, Mingalaba. Yes. I was there in Myanmar in 1998. Zanzibar. MashaAllah. Somalia. MashaAllah, Somalia. Hopefully one day we can go to, but I think Somalia is majority Muslims, right? Yes. Okay, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Now, inshallah, but I have some Somalia friends staying in Malaysia. So far only few African countries. Hope I can cover the central and the southern side, inshallah. Now, the method of answering questions, I will not go through everything. Just a brief one for every one of us to have a look. This is what we should do. Repeat the question. The main thing is that the benefit of repeating the question is that it helps the prospect to understand the question better. If we misunderstood the question, the questioner can correct us. And if you are not prepared with the answer, it gives you time to think and formulate the answer. Because sometimes what we understand and what they really mean is two different issues. If you realize, sometimes the prospect repeat the same question in the latter part of the tour. Right? Why? Because we thought we have answered that question, but actually we have not, according to them. So the main thing is that repeat the questions. Okay? Self-explanatory. You can read it. Always repeat the questions. Do not jump to the conclusion. Let them finish. I saw some people is taking pictures of this. MashaAllah, no problem. Please do so. But as again, just to share with you that you can have the slide. Okay? You will have the slide, inshallah. There will be more notes coming to you. And what I will do as well is that I will be sharing with Zuhair as well more than hundreds over question and answer, the question and the answer as well. Okay? Some common and some is difficult question asked by missionary, asked by atheists, asked by Hindus, asked by Buddhists. It will be there as well. Okay? Thing is that during the ATMT tour, if they have that particular question, you can immediately, if possible, some suggestion. You have a paper, you bring along a pen and paper, and then you write down their name and then get their contact if possible and say, brother, just now, address them. Just now, brother, you asked a very good question. And although I'm the guide here, I might not know everything, and you just address one of the questions that I do not know. But I promise you that I will come back to you. Now, how can I reach out to you? How can we communicate right after this? Through email or through WhatsApp? Ask them. Either one, you will get their contact, and then immediately after you get the answer, go back to them and give them the answer. From there, you establish contact. Or sometimes, if you know any da'wah organization in that particular country, refer this particular person to the organization there so they can follow up with that particular person. Because for you to travel to their country, is far. This is how we build the network. Body of the answer, again, this is self-explanatory. I want to focus more on, because we only have 1 more hour to go, on the closing part, on the invitation part. Because we have also the segmentations. Islamic viewpoint, whatever relevant answer from the Quran and the Hadith and the scholars' opinion on that particular matters. Comparative religion. Now, to involve in da'wah at TMT, it is not something compulsory for you to have knowledge, extensive knowledge about comparative religion. Because some people, they do not want to involve in da'wah for the simple reason that they give an excuse. Brother, sorry, I don't have a lot of knowledge about comparative religion. But inshallah, after I learn about comparative religion, I will start to do da'wah. Never. This is not that case. If you become a salesman of Toyota, yes, you should know about your competitor products too, right? But what is the main information that you should know? About Toyota, right? You don't expect people to come to your showroom of Toyota and you keep on talking about Honda to them. You might have extensive knowledge. You know, how bad is this, how bad is that? Because the idea is proving other people wrong doesn't make you right. But we have to share more about Islam and Islam. We might have very minimum. When people ask us about, what do you think about Honda, that particular model? We can say, yeah, I heard about it, but I'm not so sure. Do you think the customer will blame you for saying you are not so sure? Do you think they will blame you? Why they won't blame you? Because you are not selling Toyota, you are not selling Honda. But they will definitely blame you if they ask you about Islam, simple basic question according to them, and you do not know the answer. So we should equip ourselves more with Islamic knowledge compared to the comparative religion. But of course, by knowing comparative religion, it will make us become a more effective da'i. Now, this is for the comparative religion point of view. And then we have the reason and logic. Again, you can read it. A lot of references here. But again, this is not compulsory. Yeah? This is not compulsory. This is just in order for you to improve, to become a better da'i. Scientific viewpoint. I try not to use too much of scientific viewpoint, because sometimes when you use scientific viewpoint, sometimes it get updated and you are outdated, and that is very difficult. And unless you are subscribing to the mailing list of those scientific journal, then it's okay. But I will try not to talk about scientific viewpoint too much. Okay, like some people will say when they answer question, why Muslim cannot eat pork? They will like to go on the scientific viewpoint first before the Islamic viewpoint. They will say, you know, there is a worm, there is this, there is that, there is a virus, blah, 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 blah. But then how if somebody will ask you, okay, you say Muslim cannot eat because of this reason, right? Now, how if one day there is a vaccine being created, and okay, and this virus no longer exists in the body of the pig, and then this pig, now today you know, all this farm is very clean, and then when they slaughter the pig, they read Bismillah. Can you read it? Can you eat it? You still can't eat it, which means it's not because of the virus, right? But sometimes when we go too much of the scientific viewpoint, actually, like I say just now, we have just dig our own grave. Don't do that. Always scientific viewpoint is the last. It is not science that proves Islam right. It is Islam that proves science is right. That is our understanding and this is our belief, and it's not a blind faith. We don't have the time to talk about that, but this is a general statement. Okay. Points to be avoided. Do not get irritated at the questioner. Sometimes they ask us a very provoking question. We dislike it, especially the way they ask it. Do not get angry. Always remain cool and calm, relax. Although sometimes in your heart it's like, oh man, how am I going to answer this? You have no answer. You get blank. It's okay, but remain cool. Do not beat around the bush. Answer the point precisely. If you do not know, just say you don't know. Do not give false and wrong information. Reason being, now is the information is easily accessible anywhere and everywhere. So do not give wrong information, because they can go and do their own research. Do not confuse yourself while answering by contradicting yourself. Do not become blank. Do not fumble. Do not look tense. Do not become nervous. Have to remain calm, relaxed. Because people like to talk to people who are confident. Okay? Next, AIDA system, desire. Just now, mashallah, Sheikh Ahmad Khoyeji shared with me some certain point about normally when you have this ATMT, when it comes to the initiation part, the attention part, you will ask the prospect, the group, the tour, that how many minutes they have. Right? How many minutes they have. Normally, they will tell you 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 1 hour, right? Is that the case, normally? I would suggest, this is good to use, I would suggest to use, not use the minutes, but ask them, how many hours do you have? Go for the highest number first. Because when you use minute, they will always limit to below 60 minutes. They will have 30 minutes or 45 minutes. When you use hour, let them use. Make it bigger. Because when you say minutes, 30 minutes compared to 1 hour, which looks smaller? 1 or 30? 1. But what I'm trying to suggest is that, ask them, how many hours do you have to spend here? How many hours? They say hours. Because when you ask them how many hours, immediately in their mind is projected hours. I think 1 hour should be okay. When you ask them minutes, you already limit them to the minutes itself. Does it make sense to you?
Yes. How much time?
Because
normally we have a time which we think is suitable, 45 and a half an hour. So we start in 45 minutes, normally the tour need. Is that for you okay? We can make it longer or shorter. So we put something which we think we can finish our and see whether for them convince us.
Good. That as I say just now, the 30 minutes you can ask for 30 minutes is fine. That is a practical application as well. This is the same method that sometimes when we use in our street da'wah, people is rushing here and there. So when we manage to stop them, we always use the biggest numbers in order for them to spend more time with us. Like for example, when they say they can have 1 hour. Yes, we can finish the tour in 30 minutes and 45 minutes, except no problem. But actually whatever time that we have, the balance, we can use for Q&A. More Q&A. Okay? And sometimes they say, oh, no, we don't have 1 hour. It's like if you're giving them a bigger number, when you're doing a sales, you will ask them, sir, you would like to buy 1? Normally, you will, if they don't buy 1, it will lead to 0. But if you ask them, sir, would you like to buy 2 or 3, sir? They might not choose 2 or 3. If it drop, it will drop to 1. We go for the highest. That's why when we're making dua, what we make dua for? We're making for which Jannah? Yeah, we ask for Jannah Firdaus. Although we know sometimes our act of worship does not, we do not deserve to be there too. But then we ask because we know Allah can give. Because eventually, if Allah don't give us Jannatul Firdaus, still okay. Just imagine if we ask, oh Allah, at least just give me the minimum Jannah will do. You know how dangerous is that? If you don't go to the minimum one, you will drop, man. Inshallah, may Allah grant us Jannatul Firdaus. So every day from now, you will still remember me. Jannatul Firdaus. Oh, Firdaus, that Chinese guy. Okay? Desire. Okay? So, you get what I mean here? Okay? Ask for how many hours can you allocate? Hours. But of course, they will say, no, I don't think we have an hour. We have 30 minutes. Okay, cool. 30 minutes. We will try to finish it in 30 minutes. Still cool. Because eventually, when you ask for hours, it will not go below 20 minutes, I believe. They will still give you quite a sufficient time. You can buy more time, inshallah. Okay? Now, the desire. After we have finished sharing the tour and so on and so forth, we come to the conclusion. It must always come to a conclusion. Whatever there has a beginning, there must be an ending. What is the conclusion? Okay. The conclusion is that Just like when the Prophet ﷺ finished his entire khutbatul weda, the hajatul weda, what did he ask the companion? Have I delivered the message to you? Right? Yes. We can give a conclusion. The main thing is that sometimes we thought we have delivered entire things, we have covered A to Z. But for the prospect, they might thought that, no, have not. I think you missed some place. Because there are certain areas that we might, because different countries, I think in Sri Lanka, in India, in Myanmar, do you have restrictions in terms of how far they can go? In a mosque, do you have restriction? No restriction. You have restriction? Can they go to the mimbar? No more tour. But eventually, if you start, you might face some obstacle in the sense that some will not allow you to go into the musola, the praying areas. You can just walk inside, outside, right? So we might miss out that, basically this area we are not allowed to go in and so on. We might miss that out. So when we do the conclusion part, it's by asking them. So first, use the walk principle. We have already welcomed them. So now, acknowledge them and say, thank you so much for spending your precious time here and listening to me. I hope you enjoyed it. And have I shared with you all the information that you want to listen to, that you want to? Ask them, have I shared with you whatever that you want to know? Because sometimes they come with a certain expectation, they want to know very precise. Because different people, they come with different expectation. When you ask them, and have I shared with you whatever that you want to know? Ask them. They might say, yes. Some might, okay. If somebody were to answer this way, yeah, I think so. What should you address next? Yes, immediately your eyes immediately detect that particular person who sounds like okay. You know, it's like people asking you, how was the food? Is it nice? How was the food yesterday? Is it nice? If it's really nice, people will say, MashaAllah. If people who don't enjoy it, they say, okay, Alhamdulillah, I'm full. Which means they are not really satisfied, but still okay. If it's really good, MashaAllah. It's like you're asking them, have I shared with you whatever that you want to know? Fantastic, brother. If that particular person is telling you and giving you the response that, fantastic, brother, so informative, you know you have to do a good job. If they just share and say, yeah, sufficient, I think sufficient. I think mean they are not really convinced. So go back and ask them. When it comes to conclusion, always conclude it. And ask them, is there any part of the tour that I might miss out, or I might, that you might want to know that I have not shared? Can you share with me? Ask them. Then from there, they might say, yeah, it's basically your entire tour is fantastic, brother, sister. But then I have a question. Why you didn't bring us to the room, to this, to that, to there? Why you didn't explain about this? Sometimes we as a human, we forget, right? Yes. By asking them, we get more clarification. We might not do 100% job. We might not do. But then at least when we do a conclusion, we are getting some verification, clarification, just like how the Prophet ﷺ will do. Is that he will ask the companion, have I delivered to you the message? But of course, we don't ask this to the prospect. So brother, have I delivered to you? No. Ask in a better, in a better way, in a sense that asking them, so brother and sister, have I shared with you whatever that you want to know? Yes. Okay. Which means if they answer yes, you already fulfill their expectation. Now, after conclusion, I know some places it's not too conducive for you, but I would like to talk about this, that some ideas that you can implement if your place conducive for these things to be done, to be implemented. What is that? Attention, interest, the desire, which means, okay, the desire to know is there already. They have know most of the things they want to know about the mosque, the structure and the history, and also about Islam. We want them to take action. Do we just want them to come to the mosque and that's it? Because we are using the mosque for da'wah, right? What does it mean by da'wah? What does it mean by doing da'wah? Inviting them. You know, majority of the salespeople in this world, they fail not because they fail to do presentation.
Because
Majority of the salespeople in this world, they fail because after doing the presentation, they do not ask for the sales. They don't close the deal. They don't ask for the sale. It's like, I have presented to you, brother, you know how good is this Toyota, you know, super blah blah blah. And the client seems like, oh, yeah. Very good, very good. That's why I'm here in the showroom, right? Very good. So, that is all about our car. Thank you so much, sir. Enjoy your tea. Bye.
when would you want to purchase it?
We don't ask. We don't ask for the sales. And throughout your tour, you might look at somebody who look more interested compared to others. Okay? And sometimes you might deal with them one-on-one. So what should you do? Action. Remember the three AEE? What we want when people communicate with us, we want them to accept us. We want them to accept our ideas, right? And then next is E. We want them to explore the contents, and we want them to explore the experience. Then what next? E. We want them to get excited, to change, and to practice. Action. No point you have so much of promotions, but then you do the invitations. Remember, Fazakir innama anta muzakir lasta alaihim bimusaitir. Surah Ghosiyah, chapter 88, verse 21-22. You are just a warner. Just invite. People would like to come to your party, to come to your dinner. You cannot control them. You cannot tie them. You cannot drag them. What you can do? Invite. How do you invite? You just don't talk about dinner, but you talk about what you're going to serve in the dinner. Oh, mashallah, there is this lamb, beef, kebab, whatever it is. So after you have presented every single thing, make the action. Invite them. Of course, you cannot make this invitation in a group. Remember that. Because when you make invitation in a group, some people might dislike it. But if you realize there are some people who seems like more interested compared to others, the same thing with introvert and extrovert is that put them aside and then talk to them and invite them. Okay? How? Invite. Fourth step. This is how, this is what we should have. No attempt to invite should be made until you have established value in the prospect mind. Don't invite until you have established the value in them. Okay? Will you go out and walk out to someone, a stranger, and immediately ask their hand for marriage? Will you do so? It's crazy, right? When is the right time? The right time is that when you already establish your value, the relationship, the connection, your value that I am a good man, I deserve and I can be a good husband. Same thing. We don't invite them until we have established value about Islam in them. That Islam is really beneficial for them. Islam is the truth. Don't do that, but we have a way how we can look at that. What kind of question that normally will lead to somebody become a Muslim? From them. How do we know they are interested that actually we have already established the value? How do we know that? What kind of questions they will ask normally? Have you ever do a shahada during the ATMT?
Yes.
Okay, share with me, those who have done. Yes, sister.
I did ask one guy who was from Nigeria. He was like brought up in a environment there are a lot of Muslims.
Okay.
And then he said, and then I asked, why make you want to be a Muslim? Because he came to Malaysia to be a Muslim, and also he was like actually studying UIA, which is
okay. Okay.
Why not there? Not why come to Masjid Negara? So he said that when he was growing up in Nigeria, they love football, you know.
Yep.
And then they said, but the thing is, even though they love football, the game so much, whenever the azan call, and then they stop playing and straight away go and pray. So they said they must have love. Who's this God that they love so much they stop praying just when the azan came?
Okay, but this is why he want to become a Muslim. But what I'm saying is that they will ask certain question. It's like when somebody want to buy something, you put yourself into the pictures. When you want to buy something, what kind of, if you are interested in buying that particular stuff, what kind of question you will ask? Yes, sister.
Well, they will ask about, like, let's say, for example, experiences. Is it very difficult to be a Muslim?
Yes, yes, sister.
How can I connect with him?
Yes. What else? You see, you must immediately able. You see, in sales, we always talking about buying signal. When I have finished presenting, how do I know this particular client of mine, he's interested to buy my product? What sort of question that will lead me to understand, to have the instinct that, hey, I think the chances is very high that he is interested in the product. I already create the attention in him. I already created the interest and the desire to own the product, and now I need to lead him to take the action to own the product. Yes, you say?
Can I be a Muslim?
Oh, mashallah, this is very direct. Can I be a Muslim? No.
Also here she will ask about, you know, like, okay, the qualities of the car, how you drive it. What about the prayer? How do you pray?
You see, the sister is saying, she's talking about that. What kind of question they will ask is like, you know, is it difficult to pray? Is it difficult to practice? You know, how can I connect with him? Yes, Sheikh.
Sheikh, I must wear hijab if I become Muslim.
Right. You immediately you detect.
Yes, we had a question from one Filipino.
Put it this way: if that particular person do not imagine themselves become a Muslim, would they ask you this kind of question?
No.
It's like if you are not interested in that Toyota that I'm selling, you came to my showroom. After I presented to you, will you ask me, brother, what color is available? Will you ask me that?
No.
It's crazy to ask what kind of color is there if you're not interested in buying my car. You will ask me, what kind of variations do you have? What kind of model do you have? You know, you only have 1.6, or do you have any other model, or 2.0? You know, how is the fuel consumption? They will ask you about that, right? What others that will trigger you to think that they have interest? Now we're talking about the interest. We must put attention. What kind of question that lead us to understand, hey, he have an interest? What others?
I have to be Arab. So
I need to?
I have to be Arab.
I need to be Arab, mashallah.
What if I can't pray 5 times a day?
What if I can't pray 5 times a day? You see, this is internal frame of mind or external frame of mind? Internal. It's talking about how if I cannot pray, because why he asking that question? He's imagining himself being there. Is it difficult? For who? He didn't ask the other people who become Muslim. Is it difficult? If they're asking you, is it difficult for you initially when you become Muslim? Is it difficult to practice? Because why? This kind of person, he will make decision after you share your experience. Because she or him is more of an external frame of reference. When that particular person is using it's internal, which means I make decision not because you tell me so, because I want to be, because I see myself in that shoes. You see the pictures? What other questions that will lead that we ask them for invitation?
Can I still eat pork?
Can I still eat pork? Yeah. It's common. Can I still eat pork? Okay. What else? We are not going to address all these questions, yeah?
For the name.
Yes. Should I? You mean? Should I retain? Should I change my name? Right? Should I change my name? Yeah. What else?
Is it easy to wear hijab?
Is it easy to wear hijab? Pardon?
Yeah, same.
Oh, mashallah. My things alike. Just now you are connected to the husband, now to the wife. Mashallah. May Allah gather 3 of you in Jannatul Firdaus. Amin. And all of us. What else? The brother from East Timor or from Myanmar, from Sri Lanka, from Turkey is already given. Okay. The Philippines. Yes. Any other ideas? You can see where I'm bringing you to.
Yes.
There are some certain questions that they will ask that will lead them that they can imagine themselves being one. But before they imagine, because we cannot go through their mind and see what they imagine, but we ourselves as the tour guide put this into our mind. Every single not yet Muslim is a potential Muslim. Visualize them, they will become a Muslim. 3 days ago, my staff informed me there's one guy took his shahada in my office, a Buddhist, took his shahada. You know what was his first reaction after he took his shahada? After finish, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah, and the translation, you know what his first reaction? I never see anybody do this. He said his first reaction was, yes! Yeah. Have you ever seen anybody do that? No, for me, no. This is my first time. When my staff update me, his first reaction after he finished his shahada was, yes! I did it! You know, it's like such a difficult task that, yes, I did it. That kind of feelings, right? It's totally different. So we as a du'at, like just now Sheikh Ahmad Goheji shared with me, Stephen Covey say that whatever comes from the heart, yesterday I did talk to you, will reach the heart. If your heart is full of enthusiasm, open, a positive aura, it will attract them. It will attract them. We must imagine that. We must visualize that. Visualize yourself being there. Even before you go for Umrah, you visualize yourself being there, right? And then eventually when you are there, it's like, mashallah. By visualizing, it gives you hope. If you don't visualize at all, there's no hope. It's not imaginations, it's visualizations. Now, a prospect non-verbal expression are more often powerful than words. Just now, we talk about the non-verbal and the verbal experience. How was their body language? If they are like this, they are a bit close. If they are like this, they are not secure. Same thing, this is not safety. This, if they are a bit open, if they're like, how? If they humble themselves, because when someone wants to become Muslim, if you go through all the videos that people become Muslim, you will see that when they take the Shahada, they have the humbleness in them. Because Islam calls for submission. When you submit to the Creator, how good you are, how big you are, how wealthy you are, you will become the slave when you become very humble when you took your Shahada. You will never look at people take Shahada. Did anybody do that? No, right? Do you realize, try to recall, do you realize that when those people took Shahada, when we took the Shahada, we were always, our body language, we make ourselves physically, despite we might be big size, we will make ourselves physically a bit smaller. Ashhadu. We will not ashhadu, we will be like this. You realize that? Look at that sign. Look at that particular sign. If they have this kind of sign, while they're walking, they're like this, but then eventually after finish, and you want to make the invitation, their body become like this, smaller and smaller, which means the submission is almost there. The surrender is almost there. Look for that particular sign. You must decide for yourself. I cannot decide for you. I just can just share with you the framework. How does it work? How to share? If a prospect, you don't ask and you don't get, if the prospect go back to a point covered earlier, help him or her before inviting. Like I mentioned just now, you make the conclusion. If they say there's something, they might have something to ask. Then go back, don't invite first. Go back, address the questions, and then give them the answer. Now, this thing, if we see the prospect, just asking, nothing wrong, right? Nothing wrong to ask, right? The challenge is, it's not the system, it's not how it works. The challenge is, do we have the courage to make the first step to ask them? Using this, do you know? Do you know is that? Do you know how someone can become a Muslim? I'm just asking you. I'm not forcing you. Do you know someone can become a Muslim? There is two possible answers, because this answer is only a closed-ended, not open-ended. The first answer is yes. If they say yes, what should we say next? No, if they say yes, they know how someone can become a Muslim. What should we say next? We don't go to are you ready yet, because we have not qualified them yet. This is just an opening statement to lead them to closing. Okay? I like Ip Man, huh? I like the Kung Fu master now. Do you know? If they say yes, okay, then good. Then tell them yes. They say yes. Then say now yes, which means when someone believes there is only one God. So do you believe in one God? Lead them. Do you believe in one God? There's no other God? They say yes. And when that particular person believes, look at them. If they are Hindus, you don't have to talk about Isa. If they are Christian, then only you talk about it. Do you that they believe that Jesus, one of the mightiest messenger of God? You believe in that? Yes. And Prophet Muhammad is the last and final messenger. Do you believe in that? Yes. Yes. And that is the criteria that someone can become Muslim. And you believe in all of that, right? Khalas. How if they say no? It's okay. Don't insult them by telling, how come you don't know? No, not necessarily they have to know. But if they say they don't know, do not insult them, but just use the same by saying, yeah, basically someone can become a Muslim when they believe in one God. Do you believe in one God? Yes. Do you believe in Jesus as the messenger of God, one of the messenger of God? Yes. Do you believe in Prophet Muhammad as the last and final messenger? Yes. So they have all the criteria, right? Do you know? Technique. But then, next, by asking do you know, doesn't make them a Muslim yet, right? We do not immediately invite them. But since we already qualified them by asking, do you believe in this, then before you go to what stop you also, then you can say, use this do you know also. So now do you know that by your beliefs just now that you say, you see we always put back to them because people don't like the feeling of being convinced. When a promoter come to us when we go to the shopping mall, what we will do to the promoter? We will ask them, please go away. Why? Because we don't like the ideas of being sold. I want to buy it because I want to buy it, not because how good you present to me. Same thing. Put back to them. Do you know, by what you have said just now, that you, correct me if I'm wrong, that you say, not what I say, you say that you believe in one God, right? And you believe Jesus is a messenger of God, right? And you believe that Prophet Muhammad is a messenger of God, right? Yes. Do you know that you have enough criteria to be a Muslim? Yes or no? I'm not asking you to give me a reason why. Yes or no? If they say yes, so what stopped you from accepting, becoming and become a Muslim now? We have to add on the statement to now. Why should we add on the statement to now? You know what's the difference? The moment when we say, then what stopped you from become a Muslim? And what stopped you from become a Muslim now? You know the big difference?
They may change their mind later.
Because when they say, if we just ask them, what stopped you from become a Muslim? They will say, nothing, but not now. Nothing, but not now. But if you ask them very precise questions, which means very precise question need precise answer. There is no room for discussion and no room for debate. If I were to ask you, what would you like to have? Rice or noodle? You don't come and tell me, I need chapati. Because I ask you very precise. Would you like to have the dinner here or out there? You don't say, I don't know. You can say, I don't know. But then my question is very precise, here or there. I do not give you too much of option. So if I were to ask him, what stopped you from becoming a Muslim now? Wait for the answer. If they say no, so So what do? We immediately shout, Allahu Akbar, right? What do we do next? What do we do next? They say, no, nothing stopped me. From there, you tell them. Again, never make a decision for them. Tell them, so brother, would you like me to lead you to recite the Shahada, which is the testimony of faith, or you would like to recite it yourself? You know why? I'm giving him the options. Either one, if he chooses that I will be the one who lead him, he still become a Muslim or not?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
If I lead him to for the Shahada, which means I recite first, then he will follow up, will he still become a Muslim?
Yes.
If he choose to recite himself, did he still choose to be a Muslim?
Yes.
I don't care. You choose. So you choose, and then he say, brother, I don't know. Why not you lead me? Okay. Why not you lead me? Okay. Just slowly. I will not drive 120 km per hour. I will just go 20 km per hour. There's a speed trap around. So go slow. Just use the simple. Do not emphasize too much on the pronunciation, please. Because they are not Arab, by the way. Most of them, they are not Arab. So sometimes the pronunciations will be, it doesn't matter. So ensure that they really understand what they say, what they proclaim, and then go through with them. Invite them with the flow. You see the flow? So far okay? So every one of you is looking at me. I'm afraid now. It's like you guys are very hungry. I know the food is there. Okay? Now, what stopped you? And then we can ask by using the technique of the doctor. What will be the doctor normally ask when a patient comes into his room? Or will they ask, which part of your body is healthy, yeah, by the way? Will they ask these questions? Doctor, will you ask this? You're a doctor, right? Doctor, yes. Will you ask this question? No. What will a doctor normally ask?
What's wrong? Will that be in
What's wrong? The fact, you see, from the doctor perspective is that if that particular person, a human being, walk into my room, which means there is some part of his body which is not well. True? Same thing. The fact that they are still a not yet Muslim mean they are something they might not understand or might not be able to accept about. For your sharing. Thank you so much. Beautiful. The second one is like, when should I see you? 9 or 9:30? Choose one.
9:30.
They might not we meet here or there. Don't ask without qualifying the statement. Get the ideas? Yeah? But don't ask me about mine. I said, fair enough. As long as you give me a chance to talk to you, I will talk to you. Because eventually, after 2 weeks, we reach Malaysia. We receive a call from Uganda, from the local. So, how not invite that particular person to become a Muslim first? Principle of WAP, acknowledge it. Acknowledge their concern. By telling them, brother, I understand your concern, I understand this question, and I'm aware about this issue. But you know what, brother? You know what, sister? I'm not expert in social politics. I'm not expert in politics. And I think, to answer this question, you deserve a better answer. And I believe that better answer cannot come from me. Verse 102, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu taqullah.